Right, we're back. So, there's really no room. If I want to annex them, it's unlikely that they'll change their diplomatic opinion. So I'm gonna annex Tripolitania now. Besides, if I integrate them, their population issues will vanish. I do believe with the other subjects I'll just form a power block of some kind. Probably a trade league. Especially since China's dropped their power block and, well, even with the leverage that India has from a power block embassy, they're not getting... they're not getting enough leverage in on me. It's just not happening. Yeah, just the sheer leverage resistance I have from population size. I am the 4th largest population in the world, so it makes sense. But yes. I mean, the desert portions of Tripolitania are African enough for me to integrate them quickly, so I'll go ahead and do that. Do the Tuareg culture, which is West African and African heritage, so that's enough to integrate in 5 years. Of course, the northern bits don't have Tuareg culture, but I've got cosmopolitanism anyway, so it's not a real problem. And I doubt anyone actually wants to support Tripolitania, even if to just screw me over. Okay, run democratic values. And then I'll need to do public works again soon. No. Really don't like how many railways have been built here. It's entirely unnecessary. I should start increasing the amount of production of sulfur too. Why aren't all my fishing wars on fuel trawlers? They should be. The difference is with oil refineries is fine though. I went too far, didn't I? So with the petrochemicals. The airport's not so much. Let's keep things consistent. Within reason, of course. What are the mines? Sulfurs. Convert everything to electric fuel pump. With the coal, I'd rather wait until Bangishori is completely. Still a slight reduction, but it's almost gone, so I think that's a good indicator that I definitely need to increase coal production. There we go. Sweden is literally, from what I can tell, the country most likely to support Tripolitania here. With negative 91. And Tripolitania doesn't have much to give, so this should not become a problem. I just personally hope that Sudanese event doesn't start popping up multiple times. And Mexico doesn't like me. Great. What else is new? And Australia hates me. Oh, I probably should have set that going earlier. Oh, okay. Incorporate, incorporate, and incorporate. Let's set you up with some modern thing. State does not have access to electricity. Oh, that certainly explains a lot. Alright, let's get at least a basic power plant. Use nuclear fuel, though. That's the easiest one for me to come by. Oh, I need more media. Cool. it's fine if I produce huge quantities of it because that's going to lower the prices and things in other locations. There we go. Funded research projects that make things incredibly easy to research, speed-wise, through tech spread. Like, I know I'm not... it's probable that Streamlined Railways will finish before I'm done with enhanced cracking distillation. After that, it's silicon and it's two successor techs. That won't get researched. Next. There we go. That should have some fun side effects. And the most important aspect is increasing the political rigidity to make the economy at least reasonably effective. Trade league is probably the easiest. Yeah, it's probably gonna be around 51 because the minus 50% from weak power block. Yeah. With that, they can remain inside of my market. But very few people would be willing to defend Niger. I just need to wait until my infamy cools down a lot. I still have large amounts of unemployment. Unemployed, 4 million people. Which is a pretty high unemployment rate. Well, okay, it's 2% unemployment, which under modern mainstream economics is a perfectly natural rate. I'm not going to go into my grievances about modern mainstream economics. At the very least, it's better than Austrian economics. Although there isn't much that's worse than Austrian economics. I'm being very serious on that one. Okay, aluminum price is lower, so I think it's probably best if I were to do that instead. Stick with glass production. There's just not enough labor in the area to be able to afford it. Nice, intensive, feedlots. For now, use those in order to keep things reasonable when it comes to the amount of people laboring. I don't need as much wine production. Seriously. Dance as much as I can manage. Those people can go work other jobs. could actually use a lot of livestock, so despite the fact that I own far more than I'd like to have maintained, yeah. Austria-Hungary doesn't really like me, so... I know France doesn't, nor does Germany. Try to get on Italy's good side. Spain doesn't like me. There we go. And I'll compensate those. Oh, nationalize those with compensation. Oh yeah, attraction's way higher now. And prestige is almost at the point where I can get to there. To a great power rank. The amount of natural gas being produced is increasing dramatically. It's no wonder I'm number 4 now. Getting quite a good prestige from lead and goods producer as well. Number 1 of mana wars because everyone else keeps buying them. I'm also number 1 of rubber for all these reasons. Number 2 of aeroplanes. Probably because I subsidize it and so, but a lot of people find it easier just to purchase it from me. Yep, election season. Not totally sure what the change is. Oh, it's the number of radicals, right. Radicals prefer anti-establishment parties. Extremists is a fascist interest group not in power. Number 5, standard of living. There we go, streamlined railways. The extra throughput is going to be of great use. Actually, I think I'm gonna go and start focusing a bit on society tech. Much prefer to have market studies. So I can start getting the offices set up. More synth rubber, please. The only way I can deal with the rubber shortage is finding a different way to produce rubber. Right. Catalytic cracking is going to be unlocked soon enough. That small portion of the lag is really silly. Okay, now that means that I've got all the possibilities unlocked. How much heavy oil do I need? Currently quite a bit, so yeah, I'm gonna need a few setups, specifically producing that. There's also the fact that vacuum distillation is going to total any location that doesn't have the amount of electricity I'm going to need. But I'm sure I can adjust the production method of the power plants here. Never mind, not in this location. Okay. I could definitely do that here, though. And if I swap to nuclear reactor, there's going to be a lot less fuel consumption. So, and I can focus more on producing lighter fuels in other oil refineries, which is far more important. It also produces sulfur, which is nice. And huge quantities of lubricants, which can be used elsewhere. Of course, I do need to be careful. Electricity production and all that. It's also an indication that I need to start swapping my uranium mines to a more efficient system. otherwise they won't produce enough uranium for all the nuclear power plants. Actually, where are all my oil refineries? Okay, so I've got one on vacuum distillation, another on catalytic, and 2 more on catalytic cracking. That should fulfill all my needs, especially since the one in Outer Hauserland is using synthetic oil from coal liquefaction. Yep, all good. Okay. There's a lot more demand for oil though, so I will need to work on that, especially in these areas. At the very least, the heightened demand for is going to be very helpful. Do plan on getting as many people up here as possible to fulfill the needs of the local infrastructure, etc. Oh, and try to optimize fuel production. Oil production, actually, not fuel. But yeah, Sokoto oil is piling up the levels anyway, so that should greatly increase throughput. People are entitled to their opinions, even if they are wrong. Oh, so wrong. Alright, upgrade everything to developed healthcare. I have 0 plans on optimizing data for the ports, up until it is in fact required. Could use some optimization of water production though. More carbon ores would also be really good. There. But yeah, once I unlock market studies, which may come sooner than you might expect. Oh wait. Right, where are my urban centers? I need to upgrade the Science and Humanities Department. It's gonna cost a lot, but I've got plenty of money up here. Also upgrade stuff. Switchboards. Not sure. Right, developed healthcare. This no longer consumes electricity. It actually reduces pollution effects. It does demand a lot more pharmaceuticals. In this case, it requires circuitry too. Electronic components, specifically. I could just swap over one of these to vacuum tube production though. And then build it up further. especially since there's a lot more copper wire going around than I actually need. There, that should be a bit more healthy in the quantities. Iridia has a transportation shortage? Railways are doing fine, right? Oh boy. The oil rigs. Way too much there. Okay, I'll turn off the automation here. That should help a bit. Sadly, it's nowhere near enough on the point of helping. Honestly, the airport would be more productive here because I don't actually need infrastructure. Do airports provide infrastructure? No, not at all. I'm not sure where all this infrastructure came from. Ports. Sheer quantity of ports. Who built 90 ports here? Okay, airports. Yeah. Let me just add 2 levels. That should be enough. Aircraft are pretty cheap anyway. I easily produce more than enough of those. Airports don't take that long to build, I don't think. 20 weeks, okay. Look, out of all the parties, the fascists are the one that are least likely to be of concern. And I am hit great power rank. Nice. a little 3% more prestige. Okay, so that explains that. 9580 is the lower bound. The power block should have much more cohesion. Yep. The max value is above 100, so that's going to greatly increase mandate progress and leverage generation. Of course, I need reasonably powerful countries to... Let me guess, it's still all... Yep. Cryptographic communication. That's certainly going to help with bureaucracy costs. Wow, Mexico and India are embargoing Cambodia. That's... I did it right on the very last day. Great. With 100% with more than 100% urban collectivization, there should be very few financial districts remaining. Yeah, and there are all things like arts academies and railways. I admit I may have gone a little bit overboard with that. It is quite funny. Could use a bit more glass production. Now, of course, I'm just waiting for the offices to appear so I can start building huge quantities of these. But yeah, I can start making advanced ore mines much better. I'll start slow though. I'm not sure what the price is of advanced ores. Oh wow, okay. A lot of it's being traded, so... Yeah, if I'm slow about it and only do the smaller ones first, yeah. Problem is that there's 76 of them in North Cameroon, so there's zero means for me to do this slowly. But it should allow for much more to be exported to fetch a great price on the global market. But yeah, trade center usage has just increased. Okay, that's not nearly enough to fulfill the market's demand, but I'm sure the trade centers will pick this up. See? Look at that. The amount of exports has dramatically increased, which should improve the balance greatly. Yep, there it is. So, what's next in the society tech spread? Production tech is doing the robotics. And society tech is next. What's it going to pick? Computability theory? Highway systems. It's already dumped 880 in there. 828. Oh. Oh, okay. The party split again. Which Senegal? There's now 2 independent Senegals here. Actually, wait. For efficiency reasons, it might be best not to research anything anymore. And just let all the innovation turn into... Yeah. 207 from unspent innovation. Total amount of unspent is over 1,000. So 200. Yeah, it's just over 1,000. Which matches up with my 20% of unspent innovation goes to each to tech spread, but a tech spread is on 3 techs at once. Might actually be better just to not research anything. Unless I specifically need or want something. Like, for example, going for cognitive sciences in order to get more university throughput. So, I think from here on out. I'm not interested in Hawaii. Okay, I definitely need more coal production. Is there a new alloy production process? Advanced alloys technique. Ah, okay. Convert all the alloy production to that. There we go. What was I doing? There. And here. There was definitely something. I just don't remember what it was. Coal, yes. I need more coal production. Convert it all to diesel pump. That should get me even more coal to work with. Considering the fact that I need more steel, and this is one of the things that heavily affects steel price, it being cheaper would help quite a bit. It would also help to have more natural gas, but there's only so much I can do. Cheap steel is a necessity for a lot of things. But hey, I've got robotics now. Alright, let's get something set up and see how it goes. What is it? Robotics industry. Robotic assembly lines. Robots making robots. Probably start using them in ports first, since I don't know if I have any other production methods that use these. Privatize and subsidize. Because I want to ensure that the people working there can actually get some money off of it. And also to help deal with any potential issues. Regarding staffing. Number 53. There's not very many robotics industries in the world, huh? I'm number 2 in the world when it comes to instruments. Nice. Highway systems. Gotta start moving towards producing modern tools. At the very least, it will keep the amount of tooling workshops a little bit lower. Yes, yes, stonks. Let me continue. Ooh, right. That's part of the reason why that's important, the robotics industry. But I've got offices now. These allow me to convert raw data into business data, well, organized data into business data. I will constantly need organized data of some form or another. It also produce services in the state that it's in, but that's not that important. Yeah, I'm not going to actively research anything anymore. It's more efficient not to. Strategic mining. That gets me uranium and advanced ore mines increased. That's probably the best option. Of course, later production methods that boost throughput, you produce raw data instead of organized data. Which in order to create, you need data centers, which is raw data processing. Tier 8. Yep. But it converts the raw data into organized data, which can be put back into the system again. Moving towards an information economy. It's 1983. It's a bit late for some of this stuff, but yeah. 80 times 3 is 240. Yep, still good. Okay. At least my own numbers are accurate still. I should add more construction sectors. construction done. And then someone builds this many airports. Something doesn't seem right there. Very least that means more natural gas is being produced. And then one of the tier 7 techs gives me hydroponic farming, which allows me to bypass, to some degree, the limits of arable land. As far as I know, I've never actually gotten this far into a tech and res game, at least not technologically. Okay, definitely not technologically. I personally can't wait until... well, a lot of things, honestly. Hydroponic farming would be great. I need integrated circuits for the chip foundries. Computers allow me to do digital data optimization. Seawater desalination would be really good because it means that my ports start producing water. This doesn't mean that Miltech is pretty much almost finished. Oh yes. Look at this. There's only 4 techs left. I think it would be reasonable to swap around... yeah. To elected officers. Of course, this means that I shouldn't do anything militarily for a while, but... due to the decolonization events that I really feel shouldn't hit me, at least not with Sudan. Libya I kind of get a bit more, but Sudan? Really? Oh yes, I've got plenty of robots production now. Some of it is being sold to the global market. Good. It's used by a lot. Now the main utility that I'm aware of is... yeah, this. For port use. got a few hundred, so I can afford to do a couple hundred levels of ports. Yeah, that's enough for the moment. I'm not sure how much I can actually produce. I plan on making more of these though. So I've got plenty of port levels waiting just to get this upgrade. Especially since it's an incredibly cheap upgrade, since it's just one telephone and one robot per level. And 50% more output. Which means even if the output is ludicrously cheap, it's going to get me a lot. And the input goods are already pretty cheap. I produce more heavy fuel oil than I need, and steamers, yeah. There's not many uses for them. Especially not once you get to the point where your fishing wharves are all built out. Except in areas that definitely need more population, but I don't exactly have the time to 100% fix up right this moment. Computability theory. Stuff like the halting problem. Sadly useless in-game. Outside of as a bridge tech to new things. What am I going to get next? International travel? Because that's going to make spread so much more fun. Specifically to, well, the important techs, because Miltech I'm already almost maxed out on anyway. Trout, great. I should stop this for the moment since, oh yeah, I've definitely gone over. I'm planning on giving them freedom soon anyway. Mara. This whole bit is just to get them into the power block. I'll grant them their independence soon. I just want them in. I can't exactly have many non-independent members, but if I can bring them in, this will at least improve the economy of both myself and the other countries. Although there might be some serious issues with the amounts of certain things. It's probably going to become largely extraction economies over here, isn't it? Ooh, perhaps not for the best. Anyway, I'll pause for the moment and come back later. See you again next time. Till then.